Welcome to Unpacking the Home Advantage. I have a special guest today. I met him 2 years ago, and somehow on my Facebook, they always give you those reminders. And so I thought, oh, I'm going to reach out to Rocky. He has the MLO Study Buddy group, and it helps students or potential students want to pass their test for to get licensed in the MLS. So, hey, Rocky, thank you so much for coming back.
Thanks, Paige.
I
Thanks for
know you
having me. I
just
appreciate it.
yeah, I know you just got back from the trip for Florida. You started going to different places, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. It's real. This is the fourth one we've done. So we've done Vegas, we've done Houston, we've done Nashville, and this year we did Orlando. So I get
Man,
to
that's
meet everybody
amazing.
that's come through Study Buddy, which is awesome.
They love you. I mean, it's they're your family. I get the really tight, but meeting them is like you're a superstar, you know?
Yeah, I love it. And yeah, I mean, we're a community. I think that's the thing I'm most proud about with Study Buddy is the community that's here and the people, how they support each other and everything.
Yeah, I think it's important as a mentor. It's like how do you reach to their goals, reach them actually as a personal, on the personal side. But so I am very excited. 2 years ago, I started getting back on Facebook and I joined your group because I'm like, hey, how do I help loan officers or potential loan officers get into this business? Because the number one comment I always read or hear is like, hey, dude, you can make so much money in this business. You should just go get your license and you'll be golden. And that's false. That's false pretense. And if they don't really take the right mentorship, take the right class, so I did some research 2 years ago and found some groups. I really gravitated to yours because just the comments are amazing. And let's rewind back. What do you actually do for the group MLO? How do you take them through your course?
Well, we have a bunch of different things that we do. I mean, first, we have free nightly classes 5 nights a week, which is obviously super helpful. We have a comprehensive course that we have that goes through from TRID to the foreclosure process. It has audible flashcards built in it. It has quizzes. Plus, we have practice tests, a study guide, a grid. We have a whole bunch of products. I think, though, well, I guess I should add that we do have a pass rate over 90% if you follow the plan and you engage in the classes and you do all the things. But again, I think that just coming into the group is MLO Study Buddy, Let's Pass the Safe Exam. I think that just coming in and following the plan, and I do free 15-minute consultation calls too. So anyone can always reach out to me and I'll hop on a call with them and go over the study plan with them. But we do have an orientation class on Tuesday nights, every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. that goes through everything that we do here at MLO Study Buddy. We also have an app, a free app that can be downloaded, MLO Study Buddy on Google or Apple. I think what separates us differently from any other company is I'm here for you. You know, like you can reach out to whatever you want. Where other companies, they don't really care about their people. Let's face it. They don't even know who they are. You know, where
Exactly.
I build relationships and you're in the group. So you see the comments and everything and the kind of relationships that I have with these people.
That's just amazing. Yeah, you do definitely. I mean, the students gravitate to you so much because we're just really taking it slow for them, giving the steps. They have to put the work in too. So I believe in we can't want it more than them, right? But we encourage them. And that's where I wanted to touch base with you. So 2 years that I've been really watching over and seeing the success in your group, and 90% pass. Pretty crazy because what's the average in this industry for passing?
Last I looked, it was 54% was the pass rate.
That's
54% of
insane.
people passed the test.
That's insane. Because I tell you, it is hard because you not only have to memorize it, you need to understand it, right? And
100%.
I'm a horrible test taker, like so bad.
A lot of people are. You'd be surprised. A lot of people think they're a bad test taker.
Well, I don't retain it if I take too long studying. That's my problem. But once I understand it, because I feel like a lot of this test is like, what is prohibit, accept? That word kills me, accept. I always ask my husband, what's another word for accept? Because I'm not retaining it. And so if you're just trying to memorize it, it's not going to work, right? Because if you don't
100%.
understand it, okay. Because how many tests do you think, how many sets of tests do they change around?
I'm not really sure 100%. From what I've heard is it's just like bank of like 4,000 questions, and they just randomly,
Wow.
process every test. That's as far as I know. I don't really know too much about how they get the questions or how they formulate them. I just, from what I heard,
Mhm.
it's like a bank of like 4,000 questions, and they just pick random ones out. Every test is completely different. You're never going to
Exactly.
get
So
the
that's
same
why you
test.
can't. Yeah. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to go just because I failed the first time. I'm going to go back and take it again. It's not the same test. So if you don't understand it, you're going to be in trouble, right?
100%. Yeah, I mean that's why we see people, that fail one, two, three, four, five, 6 times. I mean,
Hmm.
we had someone just pass here with their 11th time.
Oh, you take it that many times? How does it
Yeah,
work on
not
a
that many
schedule?
times with Study Buddy, but yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I had some guy Chester here too. He failed 9 times. He came here. He passed his first time on his 10th time. But it's
Oh my
usually
God,
just
that's great.
because most people don't know how to study. A lot of people that take this test are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s.
I feel like the older people are starting to do this now because, it's definitely a career. It's a very lucrative career, but you have to know the laws. You have to know the laws. I think that's big. I'm
100%.
learning a lot with my company compliance. We just had a compliance meeting, and I'm like, wow, okay, so this is why it's important to really understand it and not just memorize it. But okay, so I have some couple questions that I've been kind of doing some research and been asked a lot, and it makes sense. So the top questions that I pulled out is one of it is what changes have been made for the safe MLO test in the past 2 years that we've talked last?
It's not much, to be honest with you. I mean, the only thing is that the normal stuff that changes every year, the DNC penalty changes every year, the conforming loan limit changes every year, the
Hmm.
maximum limit for a HECM changes every year. Those are really the big things that change every year. I mean, I can't sit here and think of one big thing that changed in the past 2 years that, again, the normal, like, the high cost, those numbers change every year. Some qualified mortgage numbers change every year, but there's nothing I can say. Like, I think there'll be a lot more changes possibly in the future.
Yeah, I just believe it'll get harder and harder, right? If you put it off, don't is that true?
What do you
The
mean
test, the
exactly?
test. Like if from 5 years ago, 2 years ago, do you think the test is harder now?
No, I don't think
Not
so.
really. Oh, that's good to know.
I
Yeah.
don't think so. I mean, not from what I mean. Again, I mean, most people that come through Study Buddy pass, and I've been doing this now going on 6 years, and I just see people pass all the time. Like, honestly, if you ask me and people are like, oh, it's such a hard test, the pass rate's only 54. I don't think it's a hard test. I don't. I think that I wouldn't have a pass rate over 90% if it was. Like, if I told you, hey, here's a test that has a pass rate over 90%, you'd be like, oh, that's a pretty easy test, right? So I think in the end of the day, the test is only hard when you don't study really hard for it.
That's
I failed. I
100%
failed
true.
my first time with a 68. Why? Because I just didn't study hard for it. I
True.
wasn't over prepared. I didn't understand the concept. I memorized them. Right. My
Hmm.
second time I went in over prepared. I killed it, and then the rest is history. So I mean, I don't
That's
think it.
awesome.
I just think that if you study really, this test is a test you have to study really hard.
So, what do you think? Is there any specific federal laws that you must know inside out?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of
That's
them.
the hard.
There's a lot. I mean, just about all of them. To be honest with you, you obviously your TRID, your RESPA, your TILR, your ECOA, Fair Housing Act, HUMDA, FACRA, FACT Act, MAP, MARS,
A lot.
HPA, SAFE Act.
A
I
lot.
think I covered them all. I might have missed one or two. I think
Wow.
I covered them all. Those are all your main regulations that you're most likely going to get questions on. I mean, SAFE Act is a big one because that's your uniform state content, right? So, and licensing,
Hmm.
right? So you're gonna definitely get a few questions off of that. But yeah, I mean, TRID, Respatilla, big ones. ECOA, huge. They're all big. They're all important. They're all important.
What are you hearing from the struggles? What is the number one struggle with the students on the tests when they come back? They're like, "Hey, I passed," and but with the feedback that they're getting.
I think that the biggest thing that I've noticed is that companies don't give them support and mentorship. I think a lot of companies just hire new loan officers and then they're just like, good luck. So I think the
Hmm.
biggest thing that I've noticed is I think that a lot of people kind of bail out in the beginning too, because they get with a company where they get no support. They
Hmm.
can't get help and they get discouraged. And I think that's what they think it is. And sometimes it's not because it depends on the company you get with and having the right mentor that's going to mentor you and hold your hand as a new loan officer. Because when you pass the test, I don't teach people how to be a loan officer. I teach people how to pass the exam, right? Once you pass the exam, now you got to learn how to be a loan officer and do the marketing and learn how to structure loans and do all that stuff. And I think it's important to have a mentor.
Yeah, it's definitely important whether, you're doing anything, right? If you want to be successful. I do hear that a lot too, because I see in some of the comments, the people, there's a lot of loan officers that pass and they're like, what is next? Like, what is next? So they're still lost. It's like a couple, this is the biggest step, and then you go to the step of how to be a good, efficient loan officer, which is not only interviewing companies and they're just giving you, oh, we have free marketing, free tools. And I think just the shining objects is not going to do it, because anybody can teach you. The way I hire people is anyone can teach you knowledge and products. But to be a self starter and to really, I think, just shadowing. We started this new shadow. I make all new loan officers shadow me for a week. And I want to keep it separate. It's not training, so they get it mixed up because they're like, wow, that's way over my head. Yes, this is life in the loan officer, life as a loan officer. So I have them shadow me for a full week, and they're overwhelmed. I said, okay, are you ready? You got to put the hustle in, right? And so I have students that are like, well, I don't learn this way. I go, okay, well, this isn't for you. I'm not going to adjust for the way you learn, because obviously the way you learn is not working, So I even have seasoned loan officers that come on board and they're like, okay, well, this company isn't working. They promised me training and I don't know, I don't hear anything. But number one issue I hear from loan officers from other companies when they quit is they want me to have an actual loan in to train them. So I don't know if you agree with this, but I think that's horrible, because why would you want to use your client as a guinea pig?
Yeah, no, I do agree. And I think that companies should have better training before they get the loan so that at least they can get familiar with doing certain things. But in a way, I guess, it's like, well, they want to see if you can go get loans, right? Because it's like, hey, get the loan and we'll figure it out, right? Where I don't agree with that 100% because I think they should have training. I mean, I'm a big,
Well, self starter, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for, are you a self starter? If you're
yeah,
sitting there behind a computer and hiding, But yeah, I
100%.
mean, yeah. So we try to say, hey, we will walk you through every single loan hand by hand, but you still got to be a self starter and go out and figure it out. Or we sit down and make a plan, because we do have a time where we sit down and say, okay, what are you good at? Because not every plan works for you. Just because I do it this way doesn't work for you. So I think that's the biggest fear with these loan officers, is fear in their way. Same thing with the test. I think, like, even if they fail once, what's the percentage do you think them retaking that test again?
The pass rate the second time is 44%.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So get it done your first time. That's it. Go in one and done. Be over prepared and get it done. And not only that, but every time you fail the test, it takes a piece of you. Seriously, this
100%.
this is mentally and
Yeah.
physically abusive. This process, it can be
Yeah,
mentally and
mentally.
physically abusive. So like I just tell everybody, there's no reason why you should fail your first time. If you just go in over prepared and put the work in, like you're gonna be okay. Just
Hmm.
people rush into it. A lot of companies rush their people into it. A lot of companies
Hmm.
hire these people. They're like, you have to get licensed in 2 weeks. And I think that's a big reason why people fail their first time, is because companies are pushing them in there. They rush into it and they fail instead of waiting to be over prepared.
Yeah. So I took a challenge. I challenged myself. I'm always challenging myself. So last time I talked to you, I said, "Hey, I wanted to do this and see what your course is about." So I got your course, and so I'm like, "Okay, the passing ratio is 90." I'm like, "Okay, Rocky."
Right.
I'm
Sometimes I
like,
don't even believe it. When I say it, sometimes I'm like, is that true? But it's like legit. Like, and you're in the group, like you see people passing every day, every day.
yeah. And I hear people trying other groups, and they're like, "You're my last hope." And so when they kind of like, they're just in the group listening in and watching what's going on, and I can tell it's such a positive environment. And I can tell that people that have failed, or they still tell you they failed because they're okay. It's a safe space. So I think it's great, because, and then you're like, jump on a call with me. Let's see why you failed.
100%.
And you don't get that from anybody that I've known,
No,
because I've
that
done
that's
research
what
on this.
separates MLO Study Buddy, is me and my team, Celeste, Jen, and my
Mhm.
wife Nicole. Like we literally
Awesome.
will hop on a call with anybody, and Again, that's what's I build relationships with everybody in here.
Hmm.
Like they're not just my students or like a customer of mine. They're my friends. They're my family. Like if you go in my class, we have 100 to 150 people in my class every Monday, Wednesday night, and it's people cheering each other on and being there for each other. So, again, sometimes when I say we have a 90% pass rate, sometimes I don't believe it, but it's true. It's crazy. And I knew
Well,
you
I
took
didn't
the
believe
course,
it.
and I thought that was awesome.
Well, I didn't believe it, so I challenged myself and I said, okay, I'm going to see what Rocky's about. Got the course, studied, and of course, I have a full time job, a company to run. So I'm like, what the heck? What am I doing? Right? What did I sign up? So your Audible flashcards are amazing because I listen to that when I'm driving, if I'm
Yep.
doing a good 30 minutes. And I know you shouldn't be listening, focusing on driving, but it's
You
not really
sure
about,
should. That's study time,
well,
girl.
I know, but everybody's always like focused on driving. But here's what I found out. It's not because you listen to it once. I listened to it three, four times.
Repetition, repetition, repetition,
Yes.
repetition,
So
repetition.
that's what I noticed because, like I said, I'm not a good test taker. So I listened to it more than once. And the great thing is, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Or then when I go to the practice test or whatever, and I look or other questions, then I'm like, oh, I think Jen just taught that class, because you guys have different people interacting in. But I was just like, wait, she did just tell me that. And I love it how you guys, I don't know what's called, but you make it like, okay, think of this as this. What is that called? Like
Well, we have different
acronym?
acronyms, different acronyms.
Yes.
Different. Well, we have a lot of. We have an
I thought
acronym.
it was
We have an
silly at
acronym for
first.
everything.
Okay,
A
well,
lot
I
of
thought it
people.
was
I've
silly
seen.
at
You have
first.
no idea how many people acronyms have helped. A
Yes.
lot. I didn't use acronyms when I took the test. I was one that, especially my second time, like I just need to know it, and I just was crazy, and I memorized, and I understood everything. But I've seen the acronyms help thousands of people.
Yeah, I thought you were crazy. I was like, what is wrong with him? Why is he doing this? But I laughed. It made me less stressed. And I'm like, oh, okay. So when I came back, when I did the practice test, I was like, I used that. I was like, dang, it does work. This is
It does.
insane.
It does.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing I learned from this is be open minded when you first go in it. Don't
Well,
judge, be open
yeah, a lot of
minded.
people think we're a cult. I swear to God. A lot of people think we're like,
Okay.
oh yeah, seriously. People come in my class and they think that we're a scam. They think that, we're a cult because they're like, why? We're the only company that has free nightly classes. And we have them 5 nights a week, every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
You don't
for
sleep.
free. So people first come here and they think there's some sort of catch to that. They think
You don't
that,
sleep.
no, sleep's overrated. We know that. But I think that people see that and they think that it's some
What?
sort of scam out there. But once they come in
Yeah.
and they see
Mhm.
the community, like they're hooked and they become fan. They start
Mhm.
turning their cameras on. They start feeling more comfortable with talking because at the end of the day, again, we're all here for one purpose, and that's to
100%.
pass the
Yeah.
exam.
Yeah. So if you were in my position, after 2 years of waiting, how would you structure a 60 to 90-day study plan if I'm ready to take the test
So
next week?
we literally have a broken down study plan that tells you what to do every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it's literally just following our plan, which means like every Monday you read parts 1 through 3 or listen to the comprehensive course parts 1 through 3. Then you do flashcards. Tuesday you're reading certain
Wow.
sections. Then you do flashcards. The weekends you study the grid. So we have a broken down study plan. I usually tell people it's going to be about with our program. Now, if you're grinding and you can study for 4 or 5 hours every day, you could be out of here in 30 to 45 days. But a lot of people, we have single mothers in here that have 6 kids and a full time job, so it might take them
Mhm.
60 to 90 days. But I think that, again, I think the plan is the plan that we have broken down that literally we did all the hard work. All they got to do is just execute the plan.
Yeah, I definitely did that. So what I did was I took like 3 months to look over your stuff, and I just got discouraged, not discouraged, but kind of I stopped retaining the information. So I'm like, okay, I got to get my stuff together. I got to plan it. So I took it seriously, and I scheduled my test. I wanted, and the reason why I did this is even though I've been doing it 24 years, I wanted to see what the students are going through. So as I mentor these students after they take the test, life after the study buddy, you have also that group too, which is amazing. So I wanted to, make them feel like if they're talking to me and they're like, Paige, you have no idea what I just went through. I failed 3 times. I finally did the fourth, or I finally did the 10th time. I want to say, yes, I do know how you feel because I'm always like that. One of my client was telling me that I just closed a loan for him, and he's like, "You're still in the trench. like you're a COO. I'm like, because I need to know what you guys feel like. Because I can't make the change or improve the course if I don't, like, you're licensed, right? So like, how could you do this if you weren't licensed? So it's like you have to be with them and be in their shoes to understand. So I scheduled it right after Christmas because I took 3, 4 weeks to study, and just this is like hardcore studying and retaining understanding. I was a nightmare the last week to my husband. He was like, "What is wrong with you?" So I'm like, I can't do anything. I need to just finish this out. I took it. I was so nervous because even when I was at the test center, I was like, I don't know why I had to tell them. I go, I haven't took a test in 20 years. They're like, don't worry. They were like, it was crazy. But I think I was just like, I'm here for a reason. I'm gonna focus. The one thing that maybe will help other students is instead of flagging the question, I guess I heard mixed feelings about it. Like if you flag the question, it could affect the next question. I don't know if you heard that, but what I did was, I'm very
I've heard that conspiracy theory. I think it's a
okay, okay.
conspiracy theory. I don't think there's any truth in it at all.
I so anyways, I'm very superstitious. So what I did was I didn't flag it. I wrote the question down that I'm gonna go back on. So I had about 10, and of course they say don't think too hard into it, don't read into it too much. But I changed 2 questions. And so, yeah, I was really nervous. You push that button. I know I've been doing this 20 something years and I'm still nervous. So it's like a normal feeling to be nervous. And then obviously I passed. So I wanted to congratulate you in helping me. And so I'm like the proof of it still works no matter what age you're at. And I'm not in my 30s. So whatever age you're at, you can still do this if you really want to put the time into it.
Yeah, I did it when I was in my mid 30s, and I agree 100%. I think that as far as, taking the test and flagging things, I think what I normally tell people is because some people are second guessers, and I usually say if you're a
Mm-hmm.
second guesser, don't flag anything. Don't flag anything because then you're going to go back, you're going to
Ah,
second guess yourself. And again, I feel like here at MLO Study Buddy, we prepare you enough that either you're going to know the question or you're not and just move on. Like I'm not into one that's like, oh, go back and flag it and then look over. Like if you spend enough time on the question, at the end of the day, either you're going to know it or you're not. You're not going to know everything. I've never seen anyone get 100. So you're not going to know every question. I'm sure there was
wow.
questions on your test that you were like, oh, I've never seen this before. Like just some random stuff. So, I think at the end of the day, again, if you're over prepared, you're going to pass. I think whether you flag it or you don't. I don't think it matters.
Interesting. Okay. Um, no, I wish, I mean, if somebody ever makes 100, I would like to meet him.
I mean, we had the highest we've had in ML study buddy was 96. We have a
Wow.
96, couple of 96s. We had 94s, a lot of 92s, and then
Mm.
obviously a lot of 80s.
Well, I know your course works. I know your course works because I see the students post like their study guides on the desk. It's a hot mess, but obviously they have their flashcards, they have their chart. The
Yeah, the
chart
grid.
thing is,
The grid,
yeah,
yeah,
the
it's
grid.
amazing.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's amazing.
But
Yeah.
which is good because I think in our business, if you're in this business, you're a visual person. So you have to see that. And I mean, I'm convinced 90% is a fact for you. MLO Study Buddy group is amazing. I think it's always going to continue to grow. You have a tight knit family. So I will post the link at the bottom for anybody that's interested in getting started, getting serious about it. And it's really, how bad do you want it, and taking the time to study it? Like you said, you can't and just wing it.
No, you can't give it 50%. You have to give it 100%. I agree with you. How bad do you want this? And just, I think remembering your why, I think is important just to push you through every day and give you that accountability to study. And I think, like you said, like we have something for everybody, whether you're an audible listener or you're a visual learner, we have all the tools to try to cover both ends of it. And I think that's super important too, because everyone does learn differently, So I think and I'm curious to know, Paige, when I came on you said we did a podcast, what, 2 years ago? I'm curious to know how
Tuesday,
many was in my study
January.
group at that time. I wonder if we talked about that because we're about to hit like 20,000 or something.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Wow. Good
crazy.
for you.
Yeah, yeah, I'm excited about
Man,
it.
you should be proud of everybody.
I am 100% just, my team is amazing. So that's my wife, Jen. We really are a great team. and we're all here. What I like about my team is we all have the same passion to help people.
Mhm.
I think that's super important, is to have the when you're helping people, you have to have the passion to help them.
Oh,
So I think that
100%.
really makes such
Yeah.
a difference because they feel that passion, and I think that's important, just to let them know you're there for them and that you got their back.
I love it that you guys are just such a family. It's crazy. So where are you guys going to go next now? What
We don't
location?
know. We're not sure. Everyone wants us to go to California, but I don't know.
It's big.
I know we have a lot of people in California, so it would probably be the right place to go. But I don't know. Normally, what I do is I pick a couple of different places, and then I just put on the Facebook group a poll, and then
Good,
whatever
good.
wins the poll is usually where we go.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's fair because it's a group effort,
Yeah,
right?
we do. That we're all family
Man,
here. We're all family at Study Buddy.
awesome. Exactly. Yep. Well, I'm part of the family because
You
I
are
passed.
100%.
So thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Oh gosh. I love it. I love your group. Highly recommend it. I definitely am very proud of this group and it's amazing. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you,
We
Paige.
will blast this out and I'm the proof because obviously 90% passing is huge. If you put the time into it, that's the bottom line.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you having me on, Paige. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Okay, have a great day. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.